Hey viewers, welcome back. It's I, James Comer, half-assed reporter, the guy on the bike, reaching out to our worldwide community of paint heads. And we're at the bottom of Soho on Wooster Street. We're gonna run in for a very special show. Stay tuned. So we're down here at the Drawing Center, and we're gonna sneak in and see a show titled The Way I See It. Selections from the Kaws collection. Let's go. Okay, well, I guess entrance is free. We've got a nice little wall here of some of the artists that Kaws has collected over the last 25 years. Oh, Lee Lozano. Gosh. We'll make our initial sweep of the installation. I've wanted to come by and see the show for at least a couple of weeks, and well, I've been bogged down with my own exhibition. Oh boy, this is tasty. See, some of these examples where Kaws is really collected in depth. Adolf Wolfie. Oh, he's got some nice ones. Martin Ramirez. And he's got some of the graph writers. There's Dondi. Jim Nutt. This is that Joyce Pensado. Henry Darger. Joe Coleman. Okay, I don't have a guide, but I can give you a few guesses. I would say that's an H. It's Westerman. Adolf Wolfie. Oh gosh. Well, we'll start here. It's a suite of portraits, drawings by Basil Wolverton. Well, a show that is this big, it would take me hours and hours to get everybody's name and all the pieces in, so we'll just kind of skim over a lot of this. This is Norman Saunders, Basil Wolverton, and Wally Wood. These look like underground comic artists. Here's some more Basil Wolverton. From the 1960s. Ink. Norman Saunders, Basil Wolverton, and Wally Wood. Make your own name tops. Sticker original art. Oh, that's what that is. Should get the ugly stickers. Take a brief scan over the graffiti ephemera. It's Ed Rocher. Well, I used to hang out at the Fun Gallery with Patty Astor and some other people, also at 51X, which was another East Village gallery that was kind of an acolyte of the Fun Gallery with Rich. And I think Futura lived upstairs. Okay, so we've got some Crash. But every graffiti writer had his little piece book with him. And if you go to an opening, everybody would be signing each other's piece books. Eugene von Brochheim. This is one of the, I believe he was a famous Chicago outside artist. Malcolm McLaren. Oh, there's Dondi right there. So we've got a suite of pieces by Lee Quinones, known as Lee. And, well, his reputation was always like the Michelangelo of the downtown graffiti writers. He was always recognized as probably one of the best draftsmen and composers. Titled Battlestar Galactica, alcohol marker on Strathmore. Well, I still bump into Lee occasionally at various openings and things. I got the Spy versus Spy character. And I know that he had a studio out in the Brooklyn Navy Yards for a while. Anton von Dahlen. Anton was also one of the stalwarts, one of the outstanding examples of the East Village artist. And while this might look like it's some hard-edged, sharp focus kind of surrealism in a lot of ways, this is based on things that Anton would see in the neighborhood. All kinds of wrecked cars on the side of the streets there. Anton von Dahlen, July 1975, Avenue A and E on 11th Street. Oh. Jane Dixon, I think Jane's a wonderful example of an artist that has been laboring away in the fields for many years. And, doing her work, and then in the last 5 or 6 years, she's really been getting some serious institutional recognition. I know she was in the, I guess it was the 2022 Whitney Biennial. She had a couple of major pieces in that show. It's Hotel Girl Study 2016. This is a group of 48 drawings by Helen Ray. And I was talking about how Kaws like to collect in depth. So this is an example. I think Helen passed away in the last couple of years. And I think I started seeing Helen's work at one of the outsider art fairs. Oh gosh, maybe about 10 or 12 years ago. And, I was struck at the quality of her draftsmanship and kind of the word fractures. It's almost like a kind of irrational cubism. But also I think Helen has got an extremely interesting and beautiful color sense. As I understand it, she would base a lot of these drawings on things that you would see in popular magazines, celebrity magazines, things on TV shows and other kinds of fashionable things. Oh gosh, we've got some text in here. Bishop has channel on without her straw border, unrecognizable. No. Oh, but there's a good example of what I was talking about, her great color sense. I would say the Kaws has probably got the world's largest collection of Helen Rays, probably. We can get a close-up and you can see her great drawing there. These are basically graphite with color pencil. Oh, that's great. Oh gosh, Kaws has got a Hilma Aufklint. That's remarkable. It's untitled 1934 watercolor on paper. And there are not a lot of Hilma Aufklint paintings in private hands. Most of it is at the Aufklint Foundation in Sweden. And I think that by the mid-20s, maybe late 20s, Hilma had pretty much switched over completely to watercolor. Boy, now we've got a selection of some extremely nice Martin Ramirez works. I think that Kaws, Brian Donnelly, probably visits some of the same galleries I like. Andrew Edlin on the Bowery. Andrew's a champion of outsider art. It's another beautiful Martin Ramirez. I think you could get into the backstories on any one of these artists and spend an afternoon just thinking about that. Okay, this is a really prime Martin Ramirez. Okay, so he's, I guess he was in some kind of state institution in California, and I think he figured out how to make glue and all kinds of things in his cell. And so he would salvage envelopes and other pieces of paper, glue them together, and then make the drawings. I guess it mostly looks like graphite and crayon. Oh, this is nice. I think this part here with the collage is pretty rare. Was that 1956? Chevys and Oldsmobiles, GM products. Adolf Wolfe, another patron saint of the outsider artists. I think this is one of the people that Jean Dubuffet discovered when he was touring some of the Swiss mental institutions after the war. Oh, this is a nice one. It's big. Okay, I would say that this one is probably something like 42 by 24, 26, something like that. And we've got some text in there. Finns Himmeliftarna. Gosh. Okay, one thing I like about what Kaws is doing is, I was saying he collects in depth, but he also likes to collect major pieces. Uchiro Ukai. Okay, this artist has been getting a lot of attention lately. And again, I think I've bumped into this work initially at the Outsider Art Fair. But I like the way that Uchiro kind of uses a modality of the Japanese woodcuts and then kind of distorts them. And again, it's a very simple means. He's got brown paper, maybe some graphite ink, color pencils, and that could be whiteout. Well, now we'll look at the central installation. I've seen a lot of people were complaining about the show because some of these diagrams are almost impossible to follow. But it's Peter Saul And then we've got some H.C. Westerman, Jim Nutt, Raymond Pettibone, more Jim Nutt. I think it's Carl Wussum. Joe Coleman. You can go back in the files. I did an extended interview with Joe and talked about his show at Andrew Edlin. Beautiful early Henry Darger. Ed Ruscha. Anna Benaroya. More Peter Saul. Oh, that is a Joyce Pensado. More Jim Nutt. Carl Worsam. Mike Kelly. These are a couple of sculptures by H.C. Westerman. This is titled Swingin' Red King, 1961. Pine molding, plywood, and enamel. And the Silver Queen, 2060. Pine, plywood, molding, galvanized metal, weather vent, iron fittings, enamel, and aluminum alkyd enamel. There's a little George Condo. Let's check out the other side. That's a Crash. Mark Gonzalez. Martin Ramirez. I believe this is a Matt Linus. Julie Curtis. Henry Darger. More H.C. Westerman. Okay, Kaws has got a pretty deep collection of his work. Jim Nutt. Oh, I was saying this is a Joe Coleman. Another prime Adolf Wolfley. Okay, I think that's a Kaws coffee table. Jim Nutt. Lee Quinones. Peter Saul. Oh, just sort of skim the rest of this. I guess I should say that, I was lucky enough that about 2 weeks ago, while my show was up, that Kaws came by the gallery, came in, spent some time, talked about some of the paintings, actually called his consultant Hans Ulrich Ubrist, and he came by the gallery and they talked about things some more. Maybe we'll carry on this discussion at some point. Okay, well, we're coming around the last stretch here at the drawing room. I would have to say also that I bumped into Laura Hopland for many years, and I think she became the director of the Drawing Center 5 or 6 years ago, and boy, they have put on some incredible shows here. Okay, this is Lee Lozano. If you would like to have a study in the tragic career in the art world, you could simply look up Lee Lozano and read her bio. Martha Edelheit. Gosh, we've seen Martha over at Eric Firestone Gallery. This is Errol Schmidt. Okay, so this looks like graphite. Maybe some color pencil. Oh, we've got some Judith Lanier. Judith lives in my neighborhood over in Cobble Hill, Brooklyn. So, okay, these are from 1972. Judith was one of the 12 or 15 artists that was featured in the 1977 Bad Painting Show that was curated by Marcia Tucker at the New Museum. Oh, we've got more H.C. Westerman pieces. Gosh, I'm actually very impressed. A lot of the work I've seen, reproductions of these in magazines or art history books. This is titled Wonder Bread Picture, dedicated to Charles Demuth. In the Desert. Let's say these are mixed media. I've got ink, watercolor, or maybe some magic marker in there. An Affair in the Islands. Sounds like the title of a Steely Dan song. High Swan Dive. I guess that H.C. Westerman might have been in the Merchant Marines during World War II, something like that. Tammy. H.C. Westerman, age 51. And that's why the old funky-looking freight ships are a common theme in his pieces. Oh, and we've got a whole wall of Robert Crumb. Okay, this is one of the parts where you could spend the next hour and a half reading these. Promethean Enterprises. Okay. Story by Harvey Pekar, art by R. Crumb, 1983. Gosh, I think there was a movie with Harvey Pekar and talking about his work with some of the underground comics. So, I need publicity. What am I going to do? Okay. I would also say that Although Robert Crumb is an underground comic person, that he's also a genius, and he's a incredibly prolific artist. Okay, Mr. Natural takes a vacation. Gosh. Okay, this would not go over well with the Me Too crowd. But we love Robert Crumb. Viridio, technically speaking, number 28, cover of the Weirdo, 28, 1993, ink and correction fluid on paper. But you see these cross-hatching drawings, and some of the figurative things around the edges are pretty articulate. Oh, this is great. So there's the view back at Manhattan Island from the Staten Island Ferry, and that was even before the World Trade Center, so we're talking maybe the late 60s. Oh, I love this. It's like on a ledger book or something. Doing My Part, R. Crumb. Elaine and Bob. Photo taken in Germany, March 1975. Well, I was sad to hear that Elaine passed away. Oh, maybe a couple of years ago. The Insensitive Material, Bob, I've been thinking somebody should make a documentary about me. Okay, I think that they probably worked on this together. Like a collaborative piece. And I think that Bob and Elaine actually also have a daughter that's a cartoonist. Oh, that's a beautiful portrait. The National Gallery of Art is filled with inspiring works that are easily understood by the average man. Degenerate abstract art is not permitted. So Raymond Pettibone. My heart tells me that you will not listen to my words, and this is the cause of my tears. Oh gosh. Rick Griffin. I actually had the poster that drawing looks like it was a study for the joint show. I was saying this was a Martin Wong. Okay, yeah, I had to check it. These are Martin Wongs. Never seen this period of Martin's work before. William A. Hall. Okay, this looks like stuff you would print on your California t-shirt, or maybe have this kind of stuff stenciled on your skateboard. Joseph Kotzian. I like the little stamp. Oh, that is some very articulate drawing. This Some more Joseph coats in. And then we've got our old friend Dana Schutz. Tomo Gukita. Got a whole array. More Tomo Gukita. I kind of like that one, it's a little rugged. Okay, now we'll go down the basement. Simone Johnson. Okay, well, this is the first time I've been down in an extended part of the exhibitions where we go into the basement here at the Drawing Center. Some more Simone. Kind of makes me think of some of the Helen Ray work. You know, very intensely scrubbed in color pencil, looks like. Simone Johnson. So we've got a bunch of paintings that have cat themes by Louis Wayne. Okay, so they're saying that these are from the 1930s. Oh, that looks incredibly fresh. There we go, Louis Wayne. Okay, more Nicole Apple. And again, Kaws is collecting this stuff in depth. And again, this is an artist that I see quite often in some of the outsider fairs. Okay, so this one's kind of got a Cuba theme. Havana, Miami, Cuba. So I think that some of these are based on labels of strange products, maybe bubblegum packages some kind of strange liqueurs, cigar labels, things like that. Derby City. Oh, picture postcards. Romania. We got our Matisse, that must be Paris. The Arches National Park in Utah. Fat Cat 420 red wine blend. Nancy and Sluggo. Campbell's Vegetarian Vegetable Big Boy Club. And I like the Keith Haring Oh, and look at this, we got a whole part of a wall of the Peter Saul drawings. Gosh, Peter's got a lot of scribbly pencil lines under there. That was 1963. I've been talking about Peter Saul with some of my friends, and there is a certain group of them that thinks that Peter Saul kind of hit his peak about 1974, 75. And that he kind of changed his style. And I would say that there is something about the early pieces that is very nice, very loose. It's also 63. I also think the other interesting thing about Peter Saul is a lot of people group him in with the Chicago artists. But I believe he was actually maybe from the Bay Area. This is Eric Parker. Well, I think I've been seeing Eric's work around for probably about 25 years, 27 years, something like that. And I think I first saw it in a gallery that was in the basement of Leo Koenig's on Broadway. Strange little gallery. They were named Canada. Oh boy. Susan Tay Karanga King. And again, we've got, there must be a dozen of these, so this is pretty in-depth. Susan's quite a interesting artist. When I'm looking at that makes me think of a Knox Martin painting. I believe Susan is from New Zealand and is nonverbal. I've met her and talked to her a little bit, and I kind of look at her and think there's a lot going on in that noggin. And well, she hasn't been showing too much recently in New York, and I don't know whether that's because there's some kind of situation with the representation, things like that. You know, once the business comes into focus, then a lot of things get complicated. She's got her little Bugs Bunny characters in there. Actually, the ironic thing is that when I first saw these pieces at an outsider art fair, I was talking with some people and they were looking at them at the time and saying, gosh, this reminds me of Peter Saul. And so it's nice they've got them all kind of grouped together here. Gosh, people, if you can decipher the text and the code around the edges, tell me what that means. Tote James. Tote Rias James. Drill Tank 2009. And Crucifix Tank. Hey, those are pretty punchy. And then we've got a lot of metallic silver paint. Okay, so we've got more graffiti ephemera, although I was talking about the pieces upstairs and saying that those were the piece books where people would sign them. And I think these would be more like what would be called the burner books. This is where they get a little more ambitious, get into the color thing a little more. Death Squad. Starsky and Hutch. Gosh. So this is James Combe reporting on As I See It, the Kaws collection here at the Drawing Center. You can like this, share, link it up to all your social media sites, and you can leave your thoughts, ideas, comments, criticisms, and reviews below. We just ask you to say, thank you, Kate. Thank you.